Welcome to Lady C's podcast on Pearls of Wisdom, the show where we deep dive into the different facets of wisdom. I'm your host, Lady C, and each week we explore the topic titled Pearls of Wisdom from every angle, uncovering captivating truths and sharing insights that will leave you informed and inspired. Whether you are a seasoned enthusiast or just starting to explore facets on wisdom, this podcast is your go-to resource for thought-provoking discussions, practical tips, and entertaining anecdotes. I believe that Pearls of Wisdom has the power to transform lives, and my mission is to bring you the most engaging and informative topics and content to help you navigate this exciting landscape. In each episode, we'll explore a wide range of wisdom-related topics, from personal stories and practical advice. Without further ado, let's dive in. Our topic of discussion for today is on letting go. And one may ask, what is to let go? Lady C says, the act of letting go refers to consciously and willingly releasing attachments, emotions, beliefs, or situations that no longer serve our well-being or hinder our personal growth. It involves the following. Number 1, acceptance. Letting go requires accepting things as they are where we cannot change them, including circumstances, past events, or aspects of ourselves that we cannot alter. It involves embracing acceptance and finding peace with what we cannot control. And there's a well-known saying that goes, "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." Letting go involves releasing attachments. This often involves detaching ourselves from people, possessions, or outcomes that we have become overly attached to. It means accepting that everything is not permanent and freeing ourselves from the need to control or possess. A young man I once knew lost his first beloved car to the bank for failing to pay off his debt. There was absolutely no hope in sight to get it back. He had become overly attached to his car, and he suffered greatly from depression afterwards as a result. Letting go can involve releasing negative emotions such as anger, resentment, grief, or fear. It means allowing ourselves to acknowledge these emotions first, processing them, and then consciously releasing them, making space for healing and emotional well-being. Letting go often involves forgiving ourselves or others for past mistakes, past hurts, or wrongdoings. It means releasing the burden of anger or resentment and choosing to move forward with compassion and understanding. Trust and surrender. Letting go requires trusting in the natural flow of life and surrendering our need to constantly be in control. It means embracing uncertainty, being open to new possibilities, and having faith and great belief that things will unfold and work out as they should. Imagine that. How liberating can that be? This process of letting go is a transformative process that allows us to free ourselves from the burden of the past, make room for personal growth and positive changes, and find greater peace, fulfillment, and authenticity in our lives. It is a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and liberation. Issues that often need one to let go of are varied for different people at different times, and these include the following. Number 1, letting go of pain suffered from the death of a loved one. This is a difficult one for many. As the saying goes, death is a thief and it steals people's joy and their peace. But perhaps, on the other hand, perhaps death doesn't mean goodbye, but rather till we meet again. It is never easy to let go of what was and what could have been, but we need to let go. Letting go of rejection. The different forms of rejection come in the following scenarios. In personal relationships, rejection here typically involves a refusal of romantic or social advances from someone else. It can be experienced as a feeling of disappointment, heartache, or exclusion. And in the context of job applications or academic pursuits, rejection occurs when an applicant or candidate is not selected or accepted for a position or an opportunity. And this can lead to feelings of frustration, discouragement, or self-doubt. Additionally, rejection can be experienced in creative pursuits, where an artist's work may be rejected by a gallery or a publisher. We must remember that rejection is a common experience in life, and while it can be emotionally challenging, it is important to remember that it does not define one's worth, their value, or their capabilities. And from the above, the experience of rejection can evoke strong emotions, including sadness, disappointment, anger, hurt, or frustration. It can negatively impact one's self-esteem and confidence and needs letting go of. Another issue that one may need to let go of is past trauma. And this refers to distressing experiences that have occurred in a person's past and continues to have a significant impact on the emotional, psychological, or physical well-being. Traumatic events can vary widely in nature and in intensity, and their effects can be long-lasting. Here are some examples of past trauma. Physical abuse. Here, one has endured physical violence, such as being beaten, punched, kicked, or assaulted, and this can result in lasting trauma. Sexual abuse. Experiencing unwanted sexual contact, assault, or rape can cause profound and long-lasting trauma. Childhood neglect. Growing up in an environment where basic physical and emotional needs are consistently unmet can lead to deep-seated trauma. War or combat. Serving in a war zone or experiencing the horrors of combat can result in post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and other psychological trauma. Natural disasters. Surviving a catastrophic event like an earthquake, hurricane, flood, or fire can leave lasting psychological scars. In one country, I recall learning that some families that experienced flooding had to be rescued from rooftops after hours of waiting, and some rescued from trees. The trauma of that experience may be long-lasting. Accidents. Being involved in a severe car accident, plane crash, or other traumatic accidents can lead to physical and psychological trauma. Some people remember a car accident that happened 20 years ago like it was yesterday. Childhood trauma. Experiencing trauma during childhood, such as witnessing domestic violence, experiencing parental substance abuse, or growing up in an unstable or abusive household can have long-lasting effects. Emotional abuse. Sustaining prolonged emotional abuse, including verbal attacks, humiliation, manipulation, or gaslighting, can cause significant trauma. This can happen in any environment. It can happen at home, it can happen in the office or at school. And I remember interacting with a woman in a position of leadership, and she was talking of a past company and that she had endured constant verbal attacks, multiple incidences of humiliating encounters with a direct boss for months on end before she decided to resign and to let go. Medical trauma. Undergoing traumatic medical procedures, serious illnesses, or witnessing medical emergencies can result in lasting psychological distress. Moving on from trauma, we will now focus on past failures and regrets. And here, holding on to past failures, past regrets and guilt of what one did or didn't do in the past can hinder personal growth and prevent individuals from moving forward when appropriate and from focusing on personal growth and positive change. This needs letting go of. Negative self-perceptions. Many people struggle with negative self-perception and limiting beliefs about their worth and their capabilities. We explored the imposter syndrome in episode 1 and the detrimental effects of this on an individual. Letting go of this and of other negative beliefs can be liberating. Letting go of toxic relationships. A toxic relationship refers to a relationship that is harmful, detrimental, or unhealthy for one or both individuals involved. It is characterized by negative behaviors, dynamics, and patterns that have a detrimental impact on the emotional, mental, and sometimes physical well-being of the individuals. In a toxic relationship, there may be a lack of respect, trust, and healthy communication. Instead, there can be a presence of manipulation, control, power struggles, and emotional or verbal abuse. The toxic behaviors can be one-sided or present in both individuals, creating a toxic dynamic that perpetuates negative patterns. Holding on to toxic relationships without taking appropriate action to fix what is possible can be detrimental to one's well-being. Letting go, on the other hand, may involve setting boundaries, seeking support, and ultimately ending or distancing oneself from relationships that are consistently harmful or draining. Fearful and limiting beliefs also can hold individuals back from pursuing their goals and their dreams, and from being the best they can be. Perfectionism. No one is perfect, and expecting it from oneself is detrimental to one's peace and happiness. It involves accepting that nobody is perfect and that mistakes and imperfections are part of the human experience. Control and expectations. Letting go of the need to always be in control of every situation is vital. Trying to control every aspect of life and holding on to rigid expectations can lead to stress and frustration. Letting go involves accepting that not everything is within our control and being open to the possibilities that arise when we release expectations and embrace the present moment. This can truly be liberating. We'll now talk about what to do when in need to let go. Now remember, letting go is a personal journey and the process may vary from one individual to the next. The decision to let go is a personal one with great benefits. Now let's talk about how to let go. Past traumas. How does one let go of past traumas? One may ask. This is a deeply personal and individual process that can take time. While everyone's journey is different, here are some general strategies that can be helpful in the healing, recovering, and letting go process. Number 1, seek professional help. Consider seeking support from a qualified mental health professional, such as a therapist or counselor who specializes in trauma. They can provide guidance, tools, and therapeutic techniques to help you process and heal from the trauma. Number 2, build a support network. Surround yourself with supportive and understanding individuals such as friends, family, or support groups. Sharing your experience with empathetic listeners can provide validation, comfort, and a sense of connection. I recall meeting a woman who had suffered trauma from domestic violence, and she was open about the experience and spoke about it with me and with trusted individuals who would listen. She was able to let go of the negative emotions of that experience sooner rather than later. Practice self-care. Prioritize self-care activities that promote your well-being, and this can include engaging in regular exercise, getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Learn coping strategies. Develop healthy coping strategies to manage distressing emotions and triggers. This can include deep breathing exercises, mindfulness or meditation practices. Journaling is another one, or engaging in creative outlets such as art or music. Next, educate yourself. Learn about trauma and its effects. Understanding the impact of trauma can help normalize your experience and provide insight into the healing process. Resources such as books, articles, or reputable websites can provide valuable information. Establish safety and boundaries. It is important to create a sense of safety in your environment and establish healthy boundaries in your relationships. This can involve setting limits on interactions with people or situations that may re-traumatize you, and prioritizing your physical and emotional well-being is also vital. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle and patient with yourself, and recognize that healing from trauma takes time and that it is a courageous process. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with kindness, understanding, and self-care. Consider therapeutic approaches, and here you're exploring different therapeutic approaches that are known to be effective in trauma recovery, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Another one is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, or trauma-focused therapy. These approaches can provide specific techniques to address trauma-related symptoms and support your healing process. Letting go of past mistakes and regrets. This one is a gradual process for some that requires patience and self-compassion. Here you need to be kind to yourself and do the following. Number 1, acceptance and self-forgiveness. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and it is a natural part of being human. Accept that you are not defined solely by your past mistakes. Practice self-compassion and forgive yourself for actions or decisions you regret. Learn from your mistakes. Reflect on the lessons and insights you can gain from your past mistakes. Consider how you can use those experiences to make better choices in the future. Embrace the opportunity for growth and personal development. You are human after all. Next, make amends if possible. If your past mistakes have affected others, consider making amends or apologizing, if appropriate and feasible. Here you are expressing genuine remorse and taking responsibility for your actions. However, it is important to respect the other person's boundaries and understand they may or may not be ready to accept your apology, and this is okay and totally acceptable. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness practices to cultivate present moment awareness. Focus on the here and now rather than dwelling on past mistakes. Mindfulness can help you develop a non-judgmental attitude toward your thoughts and emotions related to the past, allowing you to let go and move forward. Reframe your perspective. Challenge negative or self-critical thoughts associated with your past mistakes. Instead of viewing them as failures or defining moments, rather reframe them as opportunities for growth and learning, and choose to see them as stepping stones that have contributed to your personal development. Set new goals. Shift your focus towards the present and future by setting new goals and aspirations. Define what you want to achieve and take proactive steps towards those goals. By redirecting your energy and attention, you can create a sense of purpose and direction in your life, and this can help you in letting go of past mistakes. Seek support. If you find it challenging to let go of past mistakes on your own, consider seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or therapists. They can provide a listening ear, offer guidance, and help you gain new perspectives. Negative self-talk. Letting go of this and embracing self-acceptance involves challenging and reframing negative thoughts, practicing self-care, and cultivating self-compassion and self-love. In episode 1, we delved deeper into overcoming negative self-beliefs. The same actions in letting go of those beliefs applies. One may ask, but then how do I get rid of the feelings of rejection? How do I let go? Letting go of rejection can take time, and doing the following will help. Acknowledge and validate your feelings. It's important to recognize and validate the emotions that arise from rejection. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment, the hurt, or sadness that comes with rejection. Give yourself permission to grieve and process those emotions. Next, challenge negative thoughts. Rejection can often trigger negative self-talk and self-doubt. Challenge those negative thoughts by examining the evidence supporting them and considering alternative perspectives. Replace self-critical thoughts with more compassionate and realistic ones. It's important not to take rejection personally. Yes, this is easier said than done. But remember that rejection is often a subjective response influenced by various factors that may have nothing to do with your worth or your abilities. It can be helpful to remind yourself that rejection is a part of life and doesn't define your value as a person. Seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, or support groups who can provide a listening ear and offer comfort and encouragement. Also important to focus on your strengths and your achievements. Here you're shifting your attention towards your strengths, accomplishments, and positive aspects of your life. Remind yourself of those skills, those talents, and past successes. Write them down if you need to, and celebrate your achievements and recognize that one rejection does not erase your worth or your potential. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness or meditation, and to cultivate present moment awareness. Moving on, discover the freedom that comes from detaching from expectations and outcomes. Gain insights into surrendering control, embracing uncertainty, and finding peace in the present moment. Further to that, explore the transformative power of decluttering physical spaces and simplifying life. Learn how to let go of material possessions. This can create mental clarity, can increase productivity, and invite new energy. Examples of people who let go. Number 1, Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison during the apartheid era in South Africa, Nelson Mandela emerged as a symbol of forgiveness and reconciliation. Despite the immense suffering he endured, Nelson Mandela chose to let go of anger and resentment, leading the country towards peace and unity as its first black president. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey overcame a challenging childhood marked by poverty and abuse to become one of the most influential media personalities in the world. She attributes her success to her ability to let go of past traumas and embrace forgiveness, empowering herself and inspiring millions through her talk show and philanthropic efforts. J.K. Rowling. Before becoming a renowned author of Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling experienced numerous personal setbacks, including divorce, depression, and financial struggles. She found the strength to let go of her past failures, allowing herself to pursue her passion for writing and ultimately achieving tremendous success. Steve Jobs. After being ousted from Apple, the company that he co-founded, Steve Jobs faced a period of profound disappointment and uncertainty. However, he chose to let go of bitterness and self-doubt, eventually returning to Apple and leading it to an unprecedented innovation and global success. In closing, Lady C says this: we all have situations, feelings, and past events we need to let go of. It is vital for our well-being, our sanity, and peace as each day passes. This is possible when we decide we need to let go and are ready to let go. With a little wisdom, a little bit of encouragement, with love and perseverance, we all can let go. Nothing is impossible if you believe. Do share this episode with your friends, your colleagues, and family, because you never do know who is in need of pearls of wisdom. With that said, this is your host, Lady C, signing out and saying, keep learning, keep growing, and be encouraged. Remember, you've got this.